We're good.
I
We're
forget that people can
all
see all of this because it's already on. I'm like, hey, is it okay?
yeah, like
Is
I
it
do
right there?
forget where are we live? Oh, we're actually live on that one and this one.
All right, let's
Let
go.
me just check one more thing quickly, and then we are good. All the technical checks are done, and
Tech check 1 2. Tech check 1 2.
yeah,
Say that
man.
fast.
Got
Say
to-
that fast, like 5 times. Tech check. 1 2 1 2. All right. In the meantime, hi guys. Welcome to Re and P on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon, wherever you are. I hope it's beautiful, whether it's raining, whether it's sunny, whether it's a little cloudy, whether it's going to rain. I hope it's still a beautiful day because you know what? You are here. You're alive. You're breathing. You know, it's beautiful. That in itself is a wonderful thing. And sometimes we forget that we just need to wake up and be grateful for that. So I'm grateful for you, and I'm grateful that you guys are here. Even if you're not watching this and you happen to come past this, you know, at some point in your life, then I am grateful for. Wait a minute, I got my special pencil today.
Oh yeah, we got it. I love this pen.
I am grateful. It's pencil. I'm grateful
Pencil.
for you. Yeah, you. And you, if you're watching, and you. I
think you guys can get the tone of where we're at today and where this is going to go.
Oh,
I have to
man.
just say, on the sunny note, the weather in England is glorious. And I know it's a little bit funny because when we say it's 25 degrees and we've got a heat wave, everyone else in the world is like, yeah, okay, heat wave. But actually it's a heat wave and it's glorious and I'm loving it. And I'm very, very grateful for this wonderful sunshine that we have. Although it's not bringing the best out of my face, I have to be honest. I went in the sun and I got like lumps on my face, like mountain spots. But anyway, look at your face. You're like,
I got a little bit of sun, guys. I got a little bit of sun. I had to.
Where'd you go?
I went to the beach.
Which beach did you go? Did you go to the one downtown?
No. Nobody goes to the beach downtown in Toronto.
Apart from me, when I
except for
visit
tourists. People that live in Toronto, because it's like right there.
The only place, yeah.
No, I went to Crystal Beach or Bay Beach. It's about an hour and a half away, towards like Niagara Falls.
Oh, okay.
It's beautiful. It's tiny, but it's beautiful, except it was cloudy. But then I was like, oh, there's no sun. Let me just get sun. And then the clouds went away and I came home. And then I was like, oh, I got sun.
Yeah. And it's on a lake, right?
Yeah, Lake Erie.
Yeah, lake. Okay, nice. Yeah, I never, all those years of going to Canada, I never really went to anything. And then until we went to Banff a couple of years ago. Was it a couple of years ago now?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
And literally since then, we've just been in lockdown, right? It's like, great.
Your
but
Instagram's frozen, but that's okay. You're back. Okay.
That's fine. It'll be back.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, all good in the hood, and very grateful for the sunshine, and I'm hoping to try and get a holiday at some point as well. I don't know why Instagram is frozen, but never mind. This
Are
is
you on your Wi-Fi or
I can't use my Wi-Fi at the same time, but my connection has gone.
That's okay. I'll come back, guys. It's okay. You can still hear me talk, so I mean, there's that.
Banff is nice. Says Jimmy. Jimmy's with us.
Yeah. We were waiting.
Have you been to Banff, Jimmy? Let us know if you've been. I'm pausing as if he's going to talk back to me. I'm like, have you been to Banff, Jimmy? So, he has to write it. Yeah, no, I loved it. Absolutely beautiful place, man. I just remember the mountains. You look at the mountains, you're like, wow. And then you turn away for a second and you look back at the same mountain, you're like, wow. And it just never gets any less awe-inspiring. Absolutely stunning. Oh, Jimmy's been to Banff a few times. Very good.
Amazing.
Yeah. Awesome place. Wonderful.
Yeah. I can't wait that there's this beautiful stream in Canmore, which is just kind of between like Calgary and Banff. And it's just this natural spring where people literally go to get water to drink, like drinking water. And it is, other than Scotland. So Scotland is the best drinking water I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
Other than Scotland, this is, oh my God, this like, you're just like, people are like, probably like, oh, let's go out and party. And you're like, oh, can I bring some of that water? Because that water is that good. Like, you're like, that's all I want.
Do you remember we went, because we were in Canmore, weren't we? And we went for a walk in behind the place we were staying, and we were running around the icy, was it like glacier ice stream, like the temperature was, oh my God.
Yeah. Didn't we walk through it?
We walked through a tiny one to get, because the
Yeah.
only way we get to the other side, and we were
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god, it's so cool!" I'm pretty sure Sonny jumped in at some point, didn't he?
Yeah,
Do
he
you
did.
remember
Yeah,
he
he did.
jumped
Yeah.
into the? Oh my god, it was so funny. I was
Yeah,
like,
it's great. It was great.
that was great. It
All
was
right.
good fun.
So there is some great energy to start us off. Hopefully, travel is coming soon for everybody who hasn't been.
Oh,
For those
I'm
of you who have
trying
been,
soon.
yeah.
Yeah. People have been, like, I know people in this country have been traveling.
I know people in every country have been traveling. And it's
Yeah,
just,
I know people in other countries who are just having a normal life right now. So,
yeah.
it's all, everyone's experiencing different things. I know
Mm.
that I am desperate for ocean. I am desperate. You know, when your heart is literally like aching. And we were talking about this, really, like your body, it hurts. It actually
Yeah.
hurts.
Yeah. I'm
Because
going to die.
you,
I'm going to self combust if I don't get a holiday
if you
soon.
don't
Like,
travel. And
like,
it's not something, it sounds silly, but it's not silly. Like, it really hurts when you're really used to traveling, you want to travel, it's important to you.
I'll even get on a crappy Ryanair flight right now. I don't
Oh my
care.
god, Ryanair
I
flight,
don't
we've had
care.
some of those, haven't we?
All right, all right, all right. Let's center. Let's center. Let's bring this energy. Let's use this energy.
Oh, good stuff. All good
Ah,
stuff. All right. So let's tell you what, let's take a few breaths.
mhm.
And then we will get into our usual little routine. So I'm not going to do a full on meditation today. I think just a few simple breaths I think would be good, and just to center ourselves so everyone can join in and just share the energy. Even though whoever's watching is not with us physically. I mean, Rita's in Toronto, I'm in England. There's other people from around wherever
Jimmy.
in the world watching. Jimmy's in Cheshire, I think, Cheshire, which is up north. And other people from all places. And so sometimes we think, well, we're all apart, but actually we are still one energy. And you'd be surprised how you can create a collective energy with people through the internet. You think, oh, but I'm not next to you. Okay, it doesn't work like that. Energy is beyond time and beyond space. And so you can still feel and create a collective energy. So let's do that with whoever is watching. And to start with, just take a few slow, deep, conscious breaths through your nose, and really push them into the base of your belly. Push your breath all the way down, like balloon your stomach out, push it out, and the lower back muscles, push it out as far as you can, fill it up with air, and then slowly back out. And something I find really helpful in this exercise is to just pay attention to how it is for you. Do you struggle to push your air all the way down? Does it feel like it won't go further than sort of, the bottom of your lungs? Do you struggle to hold a smooth breath? Is it quite jagged and, jittery? Do you struggle to have even breath in and out? Because if you just pay attention to what you're experiencing, it can tell you a lot about what's going on in your own psyche, your own consciousness, and your level of calm. And if you do struggle, it's probably even more important that you do this kind of exercise, ideally every day, just to learn to master yourself. Because when you master your breath, it really helps you to master your mind, your body. It's a really good way to do that. So keep breathing in. And if you are in a place of silence, just pay attention to that silence. Really listen to that silence, which I know sounds like a strange thing. How do you hear silence? But you can. Hear the silence. And notice again, is there a part of your mind that says, what am I doing? I haven't got time for this. I've got things to think about. Or it's saying, come on, get on with the show. And just say to that little part of yourself, no, I'm just going to breathe and sit for a minute. Our inability to sit in silence tells us a lot about where we're at in terms of our own consciousness. That monkey mind that wants to run around, do things, think things, think. That is the cause of all our suffering. So by practicing this, even for a few minutes a day, it's like a workout for your consciousness. It's a workout for self-mastery, self-control, where you get to decide if you're thinking or if you're doing, rather than it just running off by itself. And you get to decide to sit down and master your own mind, your own body, your own breath. Because who else is a master of it other than you? But it takes practice. So just take a couple more deep breaths. And I'd like us just to, in our own minds, just set a little intention for the session to just see what's obvious to you. And actually, we can share that if you want. I wouldn't mind sharing because it just helps me concretize it. So my intention for the session is actually about holding, what I'm getting is it's really holding a space for you to share quite a lot today. Because you're on a journey, you're on a transformation, and you've just taken another leap in that. And it's really important for your growth to actually concretize that by sharing it, by speaking it, by pondering it and reflecting it back to other people. And in doing that, you will help yourself, you will help me, because I will also, get more insights again and concretize, and you'll also help the people listening. But my sense is that this really is, for me today, the intention of what this session needs is really about you sharing. And just sharing your journey and what you've learned in whatever way you want to. So that's what I'm getting. What are you getting?
I'm getting my end result of my intention, which is so great because that comes, as a part of the learning, which is just, me going. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how it should be done. Just a way of life, just kind of we try to do life, and there isn't like a right way or a wrong way, but there is, a way that helps us become more aware of things. And I want to talk about that. And at the end, whatever comes up, but at the end, it's just, that's how it's done.
Nice.
Sharing that.
Good. All right. So everybody, if you had your eyes closed, bring your attention back into the room. Ree, can I ask you one quick question? Are you getting a lot of background noise from me? Because I've got the window open and the cars are going. Are you hearing
All
that?
I hear is the birds.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
We have so many bird sounds around here, which I love it. I love the fact that you're hearing them and
I'm just hearing the birds.
Not the cars. Okay, good. All right, so I will leave the window open for now because it's also roasting. Good. All right, so let's crack on then. So we're going to go straight first in with emotion of the day. So everyone join in if you want to tell us your emotion of the day. Ree, what's yours?
My emotion of the day is abundance. That's not even an emotion. Oh my God, how do I describe that?
What does that feel like?
Oh, what does that feel like? Sometimes, it's so hard just breaking your emotion from what you're thinking apart.
Sense into it. Where is it in your body? Abundance. Where do you feel it? I get the word excitement.
Excitement, joy, all of that. But my emotion really is it's all of it. It is. It's my emotion is it's joyful again. It just really is. It's just joyful.
Wonderful. Excellent. good. All right. What's my emotion of the day? My emotion of the day is mine is actually excitement. Because I'm excited to have this conversation with you because I know I'm gonna love it because this is what I love doing. So mine is excitement. Anyone else have any emotions of the day? Jim is relaxed. Very good. Very good. That's a nice one. And all emotions are okay. It's not judging good, bad, and we want this one and we don't want that one. It's just being aware, and labeling emotions is really, really powerful. Especially if you're having difficult emotions, learning to label them is a key first step in transcending and healing and growing. Okay, so I'm not really feeling into the next question, so I'm going to go for this one straight away. What are you grateful for?
It's so funny. See, guys, vibes travel, energy travels, man. That's all I'm thinking. I'm just like, how do I wear this? How do I wear this? But I'm not going to think about it because it's there because she just went for it. So I am so grateful for the course I just did.
Yeah.
I am so, so, so grateful for the learning that I was able to experience.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to talk more about, I'm going to talk more about it. And Pinky said it too, but I am so grateful for it.
Okay. Let's see if we got a comment. Jimmy, is it Jimmy? Oh no, it's Mummy, Auntie. Auntie's here. My emotion is activity.
Is that an emotion?
No.
No.
But I don't want to say it. It's
Mom,
great. It's fine.
Mom, that's
Fine.
no, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. There's Mom, that's not an emotion.
No.
It's not an emotion, Mom. How are you feeling, Mom?
Activity. Again,
How do you
it's
feel? Your emotion.
So
what emotion does that activity bring to you? How do you feel about it?
yeah. Because it could be like a restless or an anxious activity, or is it an excited activity? So yeah, that'd be good to know, Auntie. What's the emotion underlying that experience? She said, she said active.
Oh, Mom, it's not an emotion, Mom. An emotion is like, sadness, happiness, anger, joy,
frustration, fear,
anxiety,
shame.
stress.
I love that. This is the best conversation.
Let Mom think about that for a second. We've got a couple people on Instagram. Hello, everybody. Thanks for
Hello
joining.
on Insta.
We're just talking about emotion.
Ricky.
What is your emotion of the day?
Or even right now, what emotion are you feeling? Share it with us.
What are you feeling?
And again, this is a really helpful exercise because actually Auntie's just done something really helpful there, which has shown us how difficult it is to label your emotions.
Yes.
We often really struggle to do that, but it's really important to understand what the emotion is, not your perception, not your judgment, not what you think it means. What actually are you feeling? Very powerful, because otherwise you just get all this emotion, especially if it's negative emotion, and it's going around and it feels like you have no control of it. You can't hold it, you can't see it, but when you get the word, boom, I'm feeling that. You'll notice it in your consciousness. You'll be like, oh, suddenly I've switched, I've got hold of it. And now you can start to work with it. You can do something with it. It doesn't have power over you anymore because you've got it in some way. I don't know if I'm explaining that very clearly, but it's something that you will experience yourself. Happy?
LJV Coaching says happy.
Oh, is it Nat? It's Nat. Hello, darling.
Happy is definitely
happy.
Emotion.
Yes, happy is a great emotion. The weather is good and I'm feeling great. Glad to hear that. The weather is amazing. We're so lucky right now. It's awesome. Good.
I just want to say, you know what? You brought it up, and I'm feeling powerful. That's how I'm feeling. I'm feeling powerful, joyful, but like what emotion that's bringing up is just powerful.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Good.
It's an emotion.
Well, see, the only reason I'm thinking about that is because what we were taught is that, for example, the opposite of that is to say, I feel powerless, but we were told actually powerless is not the emotion, because when you're powerless, you tend to feel things like frustration and anger.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling powerful, you're feeling something opposite to those.
Yeah,
but
joyful. So I am feeling joyful then.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
See, it's not easy to just pinpoint the feeling and emotion, guys.
No, exactly.
Let me just use my pointy finger.
Auntie's had just make sure you get the right finger.
I know.
Don't be doing that to our viewers.
We might need to disconnect off Instagram and reconnect after this in a sec. Your video is just gone wonky. Like your whole video
Really?
is just, yeah.
I'm seeing everything fine.
Yeah, no, your video is very. Is anyone else, Nat?
Yeah, tell
Whoever
us,
Nat is?
Nat,
Can
tell
you
us
see if
if you're still
Pinky's video is
watching.
wonky?
What does wonky mean?
It's
Is
like
it just like a fuzzy?
it's pixely, yeah.
Do you know what? For some reason, and I couldn't tell you in a million years why it's doing this, it's decided to totally lose connection to my 4G. Give me 1 second. So all right, let me do this 1 second. Then we're going to do some comments because Auntie's
Yeah,
had
there's a
another
bad
go.
connection. Nat said there's a bad connection.
Yeah. So
Just
let me
restart your phone. Nat, sorry, we're gonna cut off and come back on.
No, hang on.
Oh.
Hang on.
We're just gonna watch Pinky's.
I don't know why it wouldn't connect.
Everyone has to love our session of internet issues. We've got to just have welcome to our segment of internet issues. We are currently
literally
right in that segment at this moment as we speak. So if you'd like to go past this, you may, but it's something very exciting all the time. So I'd stick
How is it
around
looking
for
now on Instagram?
It's looking good.
Okay, good. Right. So
Yeah.
let's go back to Auntie's had another go. She's getting there. Action and happy. So happy's good. I love it. So
Mom,
cute.
action. They're like, get over it, Mom. Action is not an emotion. I love you so much. Love. See, love is an emotion. I'm feeling nothing but love for you right now, with a little bit of frustration. But
I'm feeling joy and glee at Auntie's attempts. I love it. But she got happy. That's good. We take that.
We'll take happy.
Jimmy says, so we were on what are you grateful for as well. So if you want to type in the comments wherever you are watching us, what are you grateful for? Let's share that. Let's get the gratitude energy moving between us. It's very powerful. Jimmy's grateful for his dog who is resting close by. I've seen his dog. He is so cute. Jim says video is fine. I think, Jimmy, you're watching on Facebook and it's okay on there because I'm using Wi-Fi for that. But on my phone with Instagram, I'm using my normal data connection and it just doesn't seem to want to play today.
It's okay now.
Yeah. Pam. Hello, Pam. Pam's joined us on Instagram.
For sunshine.
Pam is grateful for sunshine. Yes. I'm with you on that. So let me do what am I grateful for? Have I done it yet? I don't think I have. I'm going to go with Sam. With Sam's. I just can't. Every week this happens. I'm getting worse.
Ready? Tupper. I mean, slap, guys. This is a slap.
What I meant to say is I'm going to go with Pam's, which is sunshine. But had I finished that sentence, it would have been I'm going to go with Sam's, which is punshine, which is actually what you like because you're all into puns.
I like punshine.
You bring the punshine.
I do. I bring the punshine. Hey. It's always punshine when Rita's around. Don't fret. What are you, the bringer of punshine? Obviously.
And I get boost gumps when. Oh my god! All right, we are officially lost it. But I love it. I love it. Did we ever have it in the first place? I don't think so. All right, guys, we're going to move on to the next one, which Rita is going to roll with today, which is tip of the tongue.
So much, and I just want to have I want to literally have verbal diarrhea right now, and just all of it.
So talk
so much. Oh my goodness! All right, so I did this course, and you know what? There's so much, but let's talk about something that I think a lot of people know about, which is awareness. Because it's something that is, I mean, obviously it's probably coming up on my Instagram and everything else because we talk about intuition and awareness and all of that, and just being aware of your surroundings and awareness in so many different forms, right? Being careful and being aware, or just being aware and appreciating where you are, or noticing and acknowledging. And it comes up with yoga, with meditation, with anything that you're doing. You need to know where the hell you are, right? Physically, but also, oh my God, to literally what we just went through with emotion within you. Be aware. And I don't know about you, but for a long time, even since I started my yoga journey, 6-7 years ago, and before that, I've been aware. I'm aware. I walk around saying, yeah, I'm aware. Yeah, I know. I know I get angry fast, or yeah, I know I always, want to have the last word, or I know, I'm aware of it. But how aware? The level of awareness,
Mm.
and it's just like, oh my God, this course is just like, literally, it was tapar.
Mm.
You're not aware
Mm.
because holy shit, like
Mm.
you become aware and then it's just gone. It just
Mm.
like dissipates so quickly and it's
So
gone. It
do
vanishes.
me a favor. Do me a favor. Just close your eyes for a second
Mm.
and just step into. Imagine that you're in your mind and there's a little elevator, and you're going to go into the elevator, and there's a button in there which says H for hot. And you're going to go down, down, down. Imagine a little Ree in the little elevator going down, down, down into a heart. And then she gets out of the elevator and she's in her heart. And on her mind, on her heart is awareness, really being aware of self. And she gets out of the elevator into a beautiful, beautiful heart. And the word is awareness. Just talk from there about what it really means to you to be aware.
It's really seeing yourself from the inside out instead of the outside in. And I think a lot of awareness that I've been taught my whole life has been to observe yourself as the observer, to look inward, but from the outside, just from like, hey, what's going on? And it's just very surface. It's very surface awareness. What are you doing now? What's around you? What's surrounding you? This is more like literally digging deep to inward. How are you feeling? Why are you feeling this way? What's coming up for you? Why, what around you is making you feel this way? And what about that is making you feel that way? And really just questioning within myself, not questioning my surroundings, not questioning the situation, right? Not questioning what's outside of me, but questioning what that thing outside is creating for me inside of me. So it's a lot to do with my heart and how I'm feeling and emotion. Emotion is huge. Like, what is the emotion behind what my next action is going to be? Am I stressed? Am I in conflict? Am I stuck? And instead of, once you realize that that's where you are, you start to see your patterns of how you react to situations and what you say and why you say it and what you want to say. And it's like, why do you want to say that? The whole notion of thinking before speaking, right? Think before you talk. And I've always been told, Rita, you don't think before you speak. You just kind of blurt things out. And it's like, this takes thinking before you're speaking to a whole new level. And it's more like feeling before you're speaking.
Yeah.
It's not thinking before you're speaking. Don't use your head. It is your heart, right? It's thinking. It's feeling before you're speaking. It's feeling. It's feeling that depth of where is this coming from, and why do I feel this way? What does that mean for me? What does that make me? Where does this lie? And then it's digging even deeper into where did this come from, right? Where did this emotion and this reaction come from? Or like control, for example. Let's just take one. I want to be in control of a situation. Why do I want to be in control of a situation? How does that make me feel? It makes me feel like I'm in power. What have we learned? We can go deeper into that if you want to. We can talk a bit about that. But I feel like I need to have charge. And why do I need to have charge? Because I am actually completely powerless. And if I don't take charge right now, I'm going to mean nothing and I'm going to be worthless and everybody else is going to be better than me. And then I'm just going to be here in a little corner whimpering like a little lost puppy. Right. And all of that just digging into, but just the basis of like literally opening your eyes and being aware of how you feel and how you react. And how many times do you react like that? How often do you react like that? How many situations are you reacting like that in? Are you only aware when you're feeling really happy and joyful? Are you able to pinpoint, I'm having deja vu right now, but are you able to pinpoint that emotion that's coming up in a conflict situation? Why are you in a rush to resolve that conflict? And if you are in a rush, where is that resolution coming from? Where is that action coming from? How aware are you of the action that you are taking to resolve something? Have you done it before? How many times have you done it? How often do you do it? But again, this isn't something you're just going to sit there and ask every second, but it's a journey. And when when people are like, oh, I can't clear my mind when I meditate, or there's so much going on. And it's like, you don't have to not think when you're meditating, right? It's not about not thinking. It's about thinking deeper. It's about becoming aware. You know, people do mindful. This was a big realization for me, right? Mindful meditation, for example. You do mindful meditation and you're mindful. Yes, you're mindful of your surroundings. You're mindful of what's around you. You're mindful. What does that mean to be mindful? Are you mindful? Right? And if you're mindful of something, then where's your heart? It really actually makes me question that, which I haven't thought about before. It comes up.
Yeah.
Where's your heart?
Yeah.
It's called mindful meditation.
Yeah.
If you're thinking from your mind, holy shit. Where's your heart in it? I'm mindful. Like there's a wall around me. I'm on a bus. I'm mindful of all these things. And again, your mindfulness is so outwardly that you don't focus on how you feel inside. Mindful meditation is about, you know, you take slower steps and you slow everything down. There's different ways of doing it, right? Oh my God. Wow. But it doesn't, oh my God, I think meditations need to be heartful. They need to be heartful meditations, not mindful meditations. We've come up with a new word, folks. Today's word is heartful. Maybe just right now, we'll see. But yeah, I think this course really dug deep into, like, you know, Enneagrams, which are basically personality traits, right? A way of classifying for personality traits. And I've never done an Enneagram on myself before, and just to see where I lie. And then a big thing for me, a big takeaway from this, I'm just going to summarize and then you can go and share what you think, is we develop our values and beliefs from the age of before zero in the womb to 5 to a 5-year-old. And our brain scientifically is the exact same as the brain of someone who is under hypnosis, which means that everything is just stamp. Everything that happens, a word you hear, you know, something you see in your peripheral, like literally. And as you grow up, everything that you learn in that age becomes your peripheral. But you are so guided in everything that you do through your peripheral that you don't even realize that you're not using your actual lenses. Where did I come up with this shit? But that's great. You're not. You're literally living. I've been living my life through my peripherals, which is, you know, this is just the way it is. And I know that I'm in traffic and I need to be aware of what's around me and all of that. But what the hell's ahead of me? You know, what am I really looking at? And where is that vision coming from? Because how can I look forward if I don't know where? How can I get to where I'm going? Let's put it that way. How can I get to where I'm going if I don't know where the hell I'm coming from? Where am I going? You know, I'm just here. I'm just stuck on this highway to nowhere. So, I mean, yeah, there's so much just in that. Verbal diarrhea.
Yeah, no, it's and this is the thing, right? There's a lot of stuff out there that can really completely shift and revolutionize your entire experience of life. And it takes time to integrate all of that when you've been on such an intense course. It takes time to put things into practice, and you're always learning. And even when you think you've understood an emotion or you've understood why you're doing something, then there's always layers, and then there's another bit and another bit and another bit. It's a never-ending journey of self-exploration, right? And I think for some people it can be painful because it's like, oh no, I have to look at myself and I'm going to see things that I don't like, or things that are painful that I've been avoiding all my life or I don't want to admit. But actually, if you can flip that and realize that self-exploration and self-awareness is your number one gift, then you realize that actually it's really empowering and it's really exciting. Actually, I find it really exciting when I learn something more about myself, even if it's a really ugly thing or a really bad thing that I'm like, oh, I wish I didn't do that. Oh God, I did that thing again. Oh God, it's so horrible. Like, you know, and exactly like you say, you become more and more aware of your own patterns, your own dysfunctions. But actually, it can be quite painful. Looking at your own shadow, looking at your own darkness, it is painful because it's not nice, right? But those who are willing to look at it, those who are willing to face it, are the ones that transcend. Because you cannot move, like you said, you can't go forward until you know where you're coming from. You can't create light, you can't create gold until you look at your lead. And that's what alchemy is all about. And, you know, you can't have light unless you've got it against the contrast of darkness. Otherwise, what is light? You know, so in this particular physical experience, you have to be able to integrate all these elements. And I think that's one of the hardest things with self-awareness. And also, like you say, I feel like there's different levels of awareness in the sense that the more in your shit you are, the more in your ego, in your stress, in your difficult emotions, in your pain, in your resistance, in your 5-year-old programmed self, which is wounds, essentially, the more in that you are, and therefore also the more in your fight or flight response part of your brain, which is your lowest level of consciousness, the harder it is to be self-aware because it just consumes you. The harder it is to be able to observe yourself, to step out of it, to move up above it, and so on. But that's just really, I think, that's just how things are. But I think the more you practice, the more you can snap out of it more easily. But yeah, self-awareness is absolutely key. And there's so much to talk about just with that, really. But let me just see if you know what this means. This comment I'm putting on there from your mom.
What's his emotion of the day? Working for my
No.
husband. Oh, he's grateful for her husband who is in the kitchen working.
Oh, I see. I
Go,
see.
Dad!
Nice.
That's my mom,
Thank
everybody.
you. I love it. I love it.
Hey,
Good.
Nick.
All right. So, so that was tip of the tongue. So what do you want to tune into and hone into a little bit more? We've spoken about a few things already. We spoke about the importance of emotions and awareness of emotions. And, something you also mentioned about it's not even what you're thinking, it's what you're feeling. And that's important because people think that we are logical beings. People think that we just make rational decisions. No, we don't. Every single decision is driven by emotion. And there's science that shows that if your emotional processing in your mind isn't working, you can't even decide what to eat for dinner, let alone a big decision in your life. So it's really important to understand that this, again, is why it's important to be able to articulate your emotions and grasp your emotions, because they are driving every single thing that you experience in your life. Because what you experience in your life is predicated on your behaviors and your decisions. And those are predicated on how you feel. So you've got to get to the roots and say, what am I thinking? What am I feeling? But feeling particularly is very, very important to articulate, because I think that's what we struggle with quite a lot. So there's that level of sort of self-awareness. And yeah, go.
I was going to say, I think one of the things, I think conditions are going to come up, but what I'd like to maybe dig deeper into is something that's been lingering during this course, before this course, is everyone talks about growth, right? And how can you grow if you're not self-aware, right? The basis of, hey, how can you grow? Because, your wisdom is you're aware that you're in this box, but if you don't realize that you're in a box, how are you ever going to grow out of the box, right? We've touched on that before a little bit, but I'd like to dig deeper into it, because I had a conversation with somebody where I just said, what is your mode? Like, what is growth? What is your definition of growth, first of all? So let's start with you. What's your definition of growth?
Definition of growth. The image I get is immediately like a seed, a flower unfolding. Definition of growth in terms of being a human being is unfolding into who you're already meant to be. You already have within you the blueprint for your soul, for your life. And for me, growth is really about becoming that, but it's also about unlearning all the stuff that you think you are in terms of your conditioning. But growth is really that, is becoming more and more of your authentic self, becoming more and more of who you are, more and more of who you're meant to be, and really being able to express that in the world without hiding it, without being scared of it, without not trusting it, whatever these words are. I'm always a bit wary of using the word trust now, but essentially, growth is growing into who you are always meant to be when the world is trying to make you something that you're not, and expressing that into the world. And it's a never-ending journey. I don't think it ever ends, particularly not in one lifetime. You never quite get it done. So I guess that is part of growth for me, or maybe the most of it. Yeah.
Okay, very similar for me. I think growth is, for me, the big word that comes up is learning, right? And if we take that analogy of a little seedling turning into a plant, it is that, right? It just depends on, one day I water it and it might grow a little bit, and the next day there is so much sunshine and it's like, ooh, I'm really going to blossom today, right? Or the day after that, there's a little bit of sunshine, but it's a rainy day and it's like, okay, well, I didn't get any water today, so I might stay stagnant and then we'll grow tomorrow. So it's learning, right? What you learn really depends on how much you grow and what are you learning, right?
And I think also when you say that word learning, it's active learning, right? we actively choose to self-reflect on
Yes.
ourselves. We actively choose to take courses that help us. We actively choose to talk about it, to go coaching, to write it, to use the tools, to journal, to whatever. We're actively learning about ourselves and then
Mhm.
consciously choosing to direct the growth of our own consciousness, which is what I think is the most bloody amazing thing about being a human being, is you can consciously choose to evolve your own consciousness. Like, just get that in there for a second. You're consciously choosing to grow your own consciousness. It's like the weirdest paradox. All other animals and things, they're just instinctual and they live and that's that. But as far as we know, humans are only species that have metacognition, which is our ability to observe our own thinking. But not only can we observe our own thinking, we can change our own thinking. So you can think about changing your own thinking. I mean, it's the weirdest thing, right? But it's amazing. And it's really, really powerful when you understand that. But we have to consciously choose to do that. And we do, for whatever reason. That's part of our life path and our choices. But not everyone does. A lot of people just live their patterns from 5 years old, as you said. They just relive the patterns again and again and again. And then they wonder, why doesn't my life change? Why isn't my life getting better? Why aren't I experiencing something different? Why does this always happen to me? And why am I so unlucky? And blah, 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 blah. And look, I get it. We've all been there. But the reality is, they just, for whatever reason, are not experiencing greater wisdom that shows that you don't have to live those patterns over and over again. But if you're going to grow, you consciously choose to do it.
Mhm.
It doesn't just happen, I don't think.
No, it
Maybe it
doesn't.
does.
And
Maybe it does. Maybe there are people. I've not met every person in the entire existence. So maybe there are people who just grew wonderfully without really observing themselves at all in any point.
no.
But I feel like
I'm
you have
just
to
gonna
be. No,
say
are you
no.
sure? Are you
I'm
sure?
gonna say no.
I
I'm
feel
gonna go
like
ahead
because
and just say
we've not met everybody in
no.
existence, so I feel like
No.
we can't say no.
No.
All right, we say no.
No. We
I
have
don't.
met everyone in existence at some point through space and time, and I'm just gonna go
Very
with no.
true.
But
Very true.
you're right, and that's kind of what the point I wanted to get at, and I think you put it in words so beautifully that learning, right? Like, so the person I was having a conversation with, I know learning is big for them, but learning in terms of like self-development courses that will help them in their work, for example, right? Another thing of society that we kind of throw ourselves into. And that is still learning, and you are still learning, but
Yeah.
really putting that learning into your consciousness, but without being
Mm.
aware of where you need to learn and grow. How can you personally, like you talk about self-development,
Mm.
right? I want to improve myself, or I need to go find myself. When people take all these travel
Mm.
trips after university, like I'm going to go find myself.
Mm.
No, but
Because their self is sitting over in like Australia
yeah,
somewhere,
listen,
just sat there waiting for
myself,
you.
there's a self of me that's sitting in Thailand right now. I'll tell
Yeah.
you, it's just there. Okay.
And
But
that one's literally waiting to be found. Like, right now. Go. Sorry,
but I
carry
mean,
on.
you're there, and it just learning and self. I think growth goes so strongly with awareness,
Mm.
because until you have awareness, right?
Mm-hmm.
Until you have that, I can be like, yes, and you know what? I'm going to take a course, right? Let's just do this.
Mm.
I'm going to take a course, and I want to develop myself. So I'm going to take a self development course out of the many millions and thousands that are out there. I'm going to
Mm.
go take one.
Mm.
Cool. I go take this course, and I go. At the end of it, someone goes, "What'd you learn?" I go, "Yeah, the course is kind of stupid. I think
Mm.
it's just talking about this and XYZ." And then there's someone else who goes, "Wow, this course changed
Mm.
my life."
Mm.
Why did that happen? Right? Of course, our perceptions and beliefs are different. But this one person is going, "Yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't this. I didn't that. I didn't do anything for me." And it's like these concepts of learning, until you know where you're accepting of things. And it doesn't
Mhm.
say that take everything and be like, "Yes, this is right. This is the way."
Mm.
No, but think about, why are you fighting an idea, or why are you accepting an idea, even with
Mm.
acceptance of something? Why do
Mm.
you feel like you're magnetized towards attaching on to this idea and kind of just so against that one? And really, all of that in itself is growth,
Mm.
right? Like, you just grew, just kind of
Just
trying
by
to think
questioning your own.
about
Yeah.
growing,
Yeah.
right? They're all of their
I
dots.
think this is it. Everything is a really weird paradoxical cycle, right? You grow by thinking about growing, and you think about changing your thinking, and you feel about feeling your feelings. How do you feel about your feelings?
They're
um,
just big oxymorons within
it's
itself. It
so
just
crazy. The thing you're just saying there about, why do some people reject ideas, reject teachings, and so on? And again, I think there's two things. Firstly, not everything is for everybody. the kind of work we're doing, alchemy, it's not for everybody.
No.
And other people like other types of teachings, and not everyone is necessarily meant to be on a personal development path, so or it doesn't feel right for them or whatever at any point. But I think also then it's about knowing that, is it in your heart's path to be on this journey of growth with this particular modality? Great, or not? Or is your ego rejecting growth and change because your ego doesn't want growth and change, right? Remember, that little 5-year-old you is designed to fulfill one purpose, and that in terms of your psyche that was developed by the time you're 5. And all it's meant to do is repeat the same pattern, same beliefs, same beliefs. That's your own inner computer in your mind, right? That's your own program. And that is all it's designed to do. So it doesn't want to change. It doesn't want to grow. And it will set up self-sabotage in order to keep you the same. So be like, oh, I don't like that teaching. Or it will find a obscure excuse as to why you shouldn't finish that course. Or what's wrong with this thing that someone said. I'm going to pick into it and find something why I shouldn't do it. It's a very sneaky thing of how it takes you off path of growth. Go, Louis. What do you say?
Let's actually take this comment and then I'll go on a little rampage. So Nat, I believe, thanks Nat. Hi, nice to meet you. The spectrum of growth is just amazing. We are growing timelessly.
Oh, yeah.
We really are.
Like
We're growing timelessly. It is, that's beautiful.
Thank you, darling.
Everything you just said brings me to another point that I really wanted to bring up. And I'm just like, how am I going to bring it up? Don't question it, right? Just go with the end result. Conditions. Everything you mentioned is a condition of growth that we put on it. Right? So we put conditions. Are you ready for another paradox? Where is it?
Oh, yeah.
In becoming aware of our conditions, we create new conditions to deal with our existing conditions. I'm going to say that one more time.
Yeah.
Okay. In becoming aware of our conditions, we create new conditions to deal with our existing conditions. So we're going to say, oh, you know what? Oh, I'm fighting this. Okay. In order for me to make that my next video, I really have to have perfect hair and, everything has to be right and the lighting has to be right and it's raining outside and I can't do it. So I'll just wait for the day that it happens. The day comes, then that happens.
Yeah.
Right. And now I'm like, oh, but my foundation color isn't right. And the curtains behind me aren't right. So now like I have the perfect lighting, but in order for me to, make sure that the perfect lighting reflects what I truly look like, I just got to change the color of my foundation. I'll be 2 minutes. So even though you might get the video done, just realize that you have created a condition for your previous condition. And we do this in life every single time, unconsciously.
Yeah.
And
it's this thing that Joe Dispenza, the way he talks about it is that we think we're going to, this isn't quite the same thing, but it's coming through, so I'm going to share it anyway. It's like we think that to create the life we want, we have to move matter around, physical matter. Got to move something around out there, and then that needs me to move that bit around out there, and then put that piece of the puzzle and that piece, and we're trying to do it all out there. And then, like you say, just keep putting more in it. Well, in order to do that, I need that, and you're just moving stuff around out there. And I think, actually, to use one of William's quotes, which I love, is that essentially what you end up doing is you're rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. And so you're sinking and you're trying to fix it out there, and another condition does not work. And so really the work we do is about stepping out of conditions. No condition is required for you to create the life you want. No condition can stop you creating the life you want. If you really want to be an empowered creator, an alchemist, a magician, and to really be what I believe we all are in our true consciousness, you have to realize that it's you living inwards out, not outwards affecting you in.
Yeah, that's it.
And so that's it, right? We're living inwards out. We create, not what's out there stops me creating or affects what I can create. No. You create it all. And that's a very powerful premise and a hard one for many people to take in, because they will find every reason and excuse to say, no, I didn't create that bad thing. I didn't create that. That was that bad person who did that bad thing to me. That person did this. And all you're doing is giving your power, putting all your power out of you onto everything around you, all the conditions, all the circumstances. And then you wonder why you feel powerless. Well, you just gave it away. So how about you take that back and realize that you create and you live inwards out, and you get to choose. You get to become self-aware. You get to focus. You get to create, and you do it from the heart. So that's a whole nother paradigm. Read, say some stuff.
I just want to say an alchemist is constantly turning lead into gold, right? So you think, okay, great. I had this situation and I responded great. Like this is, I was so aware and I didn't like freak out and I handled myself really well. And you're like, pat on the back. And the next thing you know, like you literally go to do something else and you've already lost it. Because I'm going to quote William again. He's our coach, right? And we can share his name. William Whitecloud is this guy who does this amazing coaching. He came up with the tools, right? But he said waking up is cheap, right? And this is something I mentioned to Pinky just before. Waking up is cheap because you wake up all the time and you're like, yes, I'm awake. I feel, whoa, I see the light. I've done a course. I'm going to go and take this. And I'm now a yoga teacher and woohoo, like I've got it. You don't got it because the second you step out into life, shit's still happening. Shit isn't going to stop. Traffic around you is moving. You think if you get on a moving highway and you stop your car, that everything else is just going to stop for you? No. So you have to figure out what you're going to do and be aware of that. But you're still in your car. You're still in yourself. How are you responding? And that in itself is ego, right? Like when you respond to something without thinking, right off the tip of your tongue, you just say it. And a lot of the times, sometimes you come up with really great shit. Right? Like where you were like, oh my God, like you would write that down. Like that was amazing. Yeah. Part of that can be intuition. Your intuition flows through, right? When you're open to things, even if you're not into spirituality and this work, everybody has an intuition. You have it. You just do. When we like instincts almost, it's part of us. But it's so deep, covered with conditions and feelings and emotions and ego and cover up and make up and shit that we can't feel it. The thing is, you can tap into your intuition anytime. Yeah. As long as you're aware. Yeah. You can change your condition of how you respond to something because it comes back to something we said before, control the controllable. It's all connected, right? Everyone will teach you all these things in different ways and words and theories. There is one freaking theory, man, and that is you. You are the creator of shit that happens around you. Why are you the creator? Because if you choose literally not to respond to something, I'm not saying ignore it, right? It's totally different. It's not just brush it under the carpet because that's ego. That's your ego going, well, if I don't look at it, then it's not there, right? If I don't look at it, it doesn't exist. I don't have to deal with it because I don't have to deal with that conflict that it's going to create. No, look at it, be in that conflict, and then see, like literally use your inner eyes to see how you respond to that. How do you want to, like, what's your immediate like feeling? What's your, how do you want to respond to it? Stop for a second. And if that's how you really feel you should respond, think about where it's coming from. Why are you responding that way? And I promise you one thing, guys, you're always going to say that, no, my response is right. If you're just you're going to go, I thought about it and I think that I should say this and I'm going to say it and I think I'm right. If you don't know where your response is coming from a behavioral level, from a level of learning from that childhood of, your emotions and feelings and all that learning, your response is always going to be out of your ego because you're never going to be able to change that response because to you, it's always going to be right.
And because most people, like you say, that don't necessarily know what intuition is or how to connect to it, and we could sometimes call it the higher self, the soul, the spirit, the heart, the wisdom, whatever it is, which is so easy to access and always there for us. And that's what we talk about when you really tune in and say, well, do I really want to respond from that place? Yeah, your ego does. Your ego wants to fight back or whatever.
All the time.
But for people who are unaware of how to connect to the higher self and take wisdom from there, because the wisdom will probably give you a totally different answer of how you should respond to a conflict, and tends to be something that's going to be in the highest good of all. And it doesn't necessarily then mean that, oh, well, then that means you're going to be all nice to that person after they hurt you. And blah, blah. I don't know what your intuition is going to say. It may not say that. But it's about doing what your intuition says, not what your ego says, not what your conditioned mind says, because your conditioned mind is only going to repeat the same patterns over and over and over again. So if you want to stop having these types of conflict over and over and over again, you need to tackle them with your wisdom from your intuition, which tells you, how should I tackle this? Or maybe you don't do anything. I don't know, whatever your intuition tells you. And that's how you break the pattern. That's how you create a new pattern, a new cycle, if you like, and you come out of these old conditioned ways, and you start to notice, I think, that the conflicts that you used to have over and over and over again should hopefully become less, because you're breaking that pattern, because you keep responding from the higher self, not from your lower self. So I've just got a little comment in here from Auntie. She says, growth is setting new goals. Interesting. Yeah. And, I don't think humans ever stop growing, expanding. I don't know that, like, there's something in us that wants to expand and grow and chase. And I don't know, though. It does seem like some people don't maybe want to. I don't know.
I think
They
people
just
get stuck in a constant. I think it's so easy, especially in this day and time with everything around us, the way we're living. It's so easy to become stuck in a constant. But I just wanted to touch really quickly on something that you said. And I want to just kind of show you guys the other side of the response, right? That response, and like we were like talking about taking the power and stuff. And that also goes for people, if you might be the kind that's like, you know what, I'm just gonna back out of this because I don't like conflict. And that is a response. Remember, I'm not talking about an actual verbal response or an action. Any action, whether that's you removing yourself from the situation entirely, right? Whether that's you going, you know what, I'm just going to sit back and observe, and you're always the observer, right? That's cool. But if that creates a conflict in a situation every time because you just choose to be the observer and that's what your pattern is, well, then see if there is another response. Why are you doing that? Is it because you're scared of conflict? Is it because you don't want the confrontation? Is it because, it's just easy and you're lazy? Whatever, right? Like we respond differently in different situations. But if you look and if you start becoming aware, you'll see a very, very clear pattern in every situation. And you won't see that unless you're aware of it. Like, write it down in a journal, right?
Yeah.
But all of that, the conditions, the ego, all of that literally comes to awareness. And I really want to go back to something you said and I said, which was mindfulness, which is, to me, now when I said it out loud and think about it, it's great, but it's from the outside. It's from the outside in. And we want to live from the inside out. Because when you live from the inside out, nothing around you actually matters, and you don't end up creating those conditions because you are aware of you, right? Because you can't be aware of anything else and how something's going to react. You don't know if the plane's going to fall from the sky the next second. You control your awareness and what you do and how you react and how you respond.
And that is how you create your reality. Like a lot of people, if you say to someone, oh, I create my reality, you create your reality. Some people take that in a very bad way, and it goes into the whole law of attraction thing. Did you attract it? Blah, blah, blah. It's actually very simple and logical. Your thoughts create your feelings, which drive your behaviors, which drive your results. That's how you create your reality. And if your thoughts are coming from your childhood conditioning and wounding and patterns and insecurities, which everyone's are, then what emotions does that drive? Fear, insecurity, shame, running away, jealousy, tends to be pretty useless stuff. What behavior does that drive? Probably something very dysfunctional. You're having arguments, you're feeling bad about yourself, you're not doing the best things for yourself because you don't like yourself, whatever it is. And then what result do you get? A rubbish one. It's not rocket, it's actually a very simple process of how we create our reality. So it's not, and that's what it's about, right? I'm just going to have a quick look at some of the comments on Instagram, because I think Nat has been commenting. Thank you, darling. Nat, she loves something you said, Ree. She loves something you said about choices. Someone called Opportunicity. I don't know who that is.
That's Mickey.
Mick, nice to see you, Mick.
Cousin,
good to hear. Huh?
You know my cousin, Mickey. Rithu's brother. Younger brother.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Oh, hello, hello.
He's fine.
Good to hear and see you both. Lots of love, wise words. Got to go for now. Thank you, darling. Hopefully you will join in again. Also, I really should turn this lighting off because on Instagram it look awful and I got a big spot on my head.
Oh, stop it.
Okay, stop it. Done. Fine. So let's carry on. I love that. You just snapped me out of it
Stop.
so quickly.
Stop.
Look how quickly you snapped me out of that.
And if she
You
sat
just
there,
told me
guys,
stop it, and I said, "All right,
if
I'm out."
but you chose to do that because you're aware of how far deep down the rabbit hole you can go, right?
Yeah.
And remember, this is something that I brought up and I was corrected because the rabbit hole isn't endless. Remember that. It's not endless and it has an end and there is a way out. Once you become aware of you being in that rabbit hole, the only way is up. That rabbit hole is your, just use your awareness. That rabbit hole is your ego.
Say that again for me. When we talk about rabbit hole, we're talking about the fact like I will go down that downward spiral of rabbit hole of, oh, I look so bad. Oh, no. And then I'll know how to, yeah.
And then you'll just live in that. And then your emotions will create from that. And that's how you feel.
Yeah.
And then you're unhappy about everything. And everyone sucks and life sucks. And,
yeah.
Whatever.
And what you're saying is
become aware, snap out of it. And then you just climb your way out of the rabbit hole like you did. You just jumped out of it. You didn't even.
I literally jumped out of it in a second. Yeah.
So that's it.
Thank you for helping me jump out.
No problem. I got you.
But that's also important, right? Because we don't do this alone. Everyone grows together, really. And I think that's really important. Jim is just saying dysfunctional attention. Yes. So there is a process called dysfunctional, in this training anyway, attention something. It's here actually behind me. DATS. Right there. It's about understanding your dysfunctions, becoming aware of your dysfunctions, because your dysfunctions are your ego, which is what you learned from when you were up until you were 5. It's not your heart, it's not your soul, it's not your potential, and it's not how you create the world that you really want to experience. So let's head into, because we've already been doing an hour already, so let's head into, I don't know how that's gone.
I don't know how this happens. We gotta really change our timings to like 3 hours or something.
I know, right?
Guys, we're going live all day. We'll be here all day just talking about this because literally we can.
We will actually do that. Do you know what? I'd love it. As long as I can have like tea on tap and like.
She's sleeping right now, and then I'm gonna go from my sleep, and we're just gonna take turns, and this never turns off, and it is literally the channel of life.
That we could do could be like a challenge for us in the future. A sort of a marathon live stream.
We'll go on Twitch. On Twitch, that's where we want to do live. They do like 4-hour live streams, 5-hour live streams. Oh, yeah.
Maybe set a world record for the longest live stream. Why not?
I'm down. Whatever. Sure. What else do I have to do?
Exactly.
We'll just create it. And in that, we just go in and we'll just create what we want to create, man.
Exactly. Exactly. All right. So let's go on to lesson of the session. Ree, what's your lesson of the session?
Awareness creates your reality.
I like it. I like it. Okay, awareness creates your reality. Let me tune in to my lesson of the session. Lesson of the session is you never stop learning. And there's 2 reasons that comes to me. Is because firstly we discussed it and it came up, and this thing that you're always continuously learning, but also I've done that course that you've just been on. I've been practicing all this stuff for so long, but still to talk with you about it today, to hear you sharing again, I'm still learning. I'm still learning about those things that even if I've heard them before, but then to hear you say them in a certain way again, just does something again for me. Go, oh, I learn again. So you never stop learning. And the minute you say you think you know it all and you've got it, you've failed. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Never stop
learning. Rabbit hole.
Exactly. So nice. So that's my lesson of the session. Tip of the day, Ree. What would you like to give
tip of the day, guys? I know I'm big on this is really funny coming from me because I have no structure and I just do things off a whim, but writing things down, right? So just like we've talked about the lists before and stuff, maybe journal, right? And I haven't done this since I was a kid, and I know journaling is huge. And when people think of journaling, everyone has their own definition of it. So my tip of the day is somewhere, keep a piece of paper and a pen, however you want to define that paper and pen to you. If there's a conflict, especially if there's a conflict or something good that happens, right? write down how you felt, what your
Mm.
process was,
Mm.
or if a situation comes up and you're not sure how to respond and you go into panic or anxiety and or want to take meds or however you deal with it, right? Usually, how you usually deal with it. I'm not telling you to not do it, but just
Mm.
become aware of what you're doing. Write it down. Be
Mm.
like, this is how I feel, and I feel like shit or I feel anxious, and I'm going to take a Xanax or whatever, and I'm going to take I'm going to go have a sleep, or I'm going to go meditate, or I'm going to go for a run. However
Mm.
you deal with it, with this
Mm.
conflict,
Mm.
write it down, and then write a few of them down, see how you go, and then compare notes just for yourself. And
Yeah.
that in itself, guys, you've already grown. So that's my tip of the day.
I love that. I'm going to go with that one and just bounce off that a little bit because I actually taught this in a webinar I did the other day. And just to structure that exactly like you say. So you can write down what's the situation, the conflict, like you said, and then just separate it out into what am I thinking, what am I feeling, and then like, so how am I behaving? And then what result am I getting? And then you'll see the thread, exactly that, right? Of how this is what I'm experiencing, this is what's going on in my head, this is what is going on in my emotional body, and this is what behavior it's driving, and this is what result it's giving me. And so just have those headings and structure that. And like you say, if you do it again, do it a few times, you'll start to notice your patterns. And you've got to be radically honest with yourself as well, right? There's no point like lying. Oh no, I don't really feel sad. I don't, no, I feel fine. I'm only drinking 6 bottles of wine because I love this flavor of wine, not because I'm trying to get rid of my emotional
It's my
pain.
favorite
You know.
flavor.
So, would you even call flavor of wine? Do you
Well,
even
they are
use the word?
flavors, right? Different
I guess
grapes.
there are flavors. Yeah, it just feels like that word
Technically,
doesn't
they're
go with it.
flavors, but whatever. They're flavors.
Um, so yeah, it's yeah, you got to be honest with yourself. But that self-reflection, I think,
And
really, as mentioned, is a really good idea. And
And I
writing
think you can take a little bit about emotions because we went through a little mini struggle with the beginning, at the beginning of just really digging deeper. Like even myself, I thought, hey, this is my emotion. And then for my fear of not wanting to name an emotion that I've had before, I don't know why that would make an issue, but that was what I was feeling. Okay. But I went with it. I went with joyful because that's how it's feeling. And then my ego was like, no, come up with something different. Come up with something different. And then I went, yeah, I'm feeling powerful, which I am, but that's not an emotion, right? So really get to an emotion. Like if you're not
yeah,
sure, Google it and see if it's an actual emotion. Like
yeah,
make
there
sure, just
are.
make sure it's an emotion. Get to the depth of it. Really like, okay, I feel angry. Okay, what else? Like what are you feeling? What makes you angry and how does it make you feel?
Yeah, because
Oh, where?
there'll also be other there may not be, it may just be I'm just angry, but don't be afraid, like you say, to dig into it a little bit and more. But I'm also, maybe I'm feeling ashamed, maybe I'm feeling sad, maybe I'm feeling rejected or vulnerable or lonely or something like that, because there's often more complexity in there. And yeah, like you can Google the emotional scale, which helps you to see different, some ways that some people have articulated, and you'd be surprised how many emotions there are. And this is the most important thing that you can really start to really become aware, because it just helps when you can articulate effectively. So yeah, Google the emotional scale and see what comes up, and maybe even stick that on your wall, and have that around you, so that when you do this exercise, you have something to go to which you can look at and say, which one of these am I feeling? Because it doesn't always come to your mind that quickly, right? Whereas
Yeah.
if you had a list, you could be, okay, which one of these feels right for me? It just helps to pinpoint that. So good. So that's tip of the day: journal, self-awareness, become aware of your own patterns.
I just want to add one last thing to that, which is basically, with all of that, just remember, right? The reason putting it on the wall and writing it down and having that visual or verbal, even say it out loud, sing it in a song, whatever helps you, right? Like
Mm,
I used to have acronyms for things to help me remember stuff, right?
mm,
Whatever works for you.
mm,
But the reason to do this is because waking up, like I said before from William, waking up is cheap. Waking
mm.
up is cheap. You got it. You got it. Okay, great. You watch, a really great video on YouTube and you feel great. And then you walk away and then life happens and you're like, shit,
Yeah,
I need it again. So when you see it, it kind of brings it all back. So
exactly.
Stay
And it's
awake.
that triangle, right? So well, there are various triangles. I just keep a simple one when I teach it, but it's basically self-awareness is the foundation of the triangle. Then it comes up to sort of self-transformation and mastery and change and so on. And well, I guess the top would be mastery. But you've got to have the foundation. You can't start transforming yourself if you haven't become self-aware. You can't start being like, I'm a master of self when you don't know yourself. It's always the foundation to any personal growth. And something else you said that I really wanted to touch on. Oh yeah, the other thing that came to me is that, why do we do this? Firstly, because it is the foundation of all personal development and growth. You've got to start with self-awareness. But also it's that analogy of, when you're in your maze, you can't see the way out of the maze. So you need to be able to look down on the maze. And that's what self-awareness is also about. Because when you're in it and you're struggling, I need to get out of this maze, you
That's all you
can't
want to do is
see
get out of it.
exactly, but you can't see the way. But when you're able to rise up and observe yourself, and then you from above, you can also see the maze, and you start to be able to piece things together, and then the routes out. But you can't do that until you stop and look down at your own maze. And that is hard, especially if you're really stuck in the maze and you're really frantic and you're really in a bad way. That's when you need other people to support you so they can see, because they can look down on your maze while you're struggling through it, which you can't quite necessarily do because sometimes it's hard. But the more you can take time out and look down at your own maze and look down at your own self, now you're going to be able to navigate your mazes more effectively yourself as well.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, in itself is amazing.
Yeah, we finally got a pun in. Do you know what's great about that? Is that I could see you ready to say something, but I didn't know what. And it was a pun, which just makes me really happy because I love your puns. We haven't had those. I don't think you've really even done too many of them in all these shows.
No.
Maybe we got to bring more of that in.
Yeah.
I love it.
Bring
I
my
love
funny
it.
side next time.
Your funny side. So good. Rocks the puns, I tell you. Awesome. Okay, good. So, that's us done, Ree, for the day.
Yeah. Any last comments to close us off, or?
No more comments at the moment, unless anyone who would like to give us one last comment, do please put it into the chats wherever you are watching. Oh, Lara is potentially with us. I don't know if she's still with us, but she may be with us on Instagram. So yeah, any other comments, people? Anything that you resonated with? Anything that landed for you? Anything that you are thinking about now based on what we spoke about? Hello, Lara. Thank you for the hearts, darling. And anything. Puns are fun. Here's one. Puns are fun.
Jim. Always depend on Jim.
I know, right? Jim, you're not even ready.
Jim, you're gonna be you're gonna become a condition for my condition to perform. Jim, don't become my condition, okay? I'm gonna need Jim in order to have a good show. It's just gonna become a condition.
I think it is getting that way. I'm not gonna lie. It's already happened. Let's be real.
All right.
Good.
Thanks,
all right, thank you, Jim, and thank you, Auntie, and thank you everybody who is here watching us today at any point, and anyone who is watching this later on. I hope you enjoy it, and as always, put your comments in there to answer the questions later on as well. If you're not watching live, we still want to hear from you. We still want to know what's going on for you. And yeah, I think on that note, peace out.
Where is it?
Something I ever say.
Where is it?
Oh, where's what?
Wait, hold on.
Oh my God, what's going on? What have I missed?
Deuces.
I literally love that thing. It's so cool. Very good. Thanks, everyone.
See you guys next week.
Bye.